Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is a Tortoise Tier 9 British TD. It's located on the assault team on Empire's border and it's under the command of YoMamas. Now if he's got the top gun, it's the 120mm gun. Let's have a check. Yes, it is the 120mm. 400 alpha penetrating 259mm with standard rounds, goes up to 326 with the premium rounds. Well, the Tortoise is famous for being, well, very big. The A39 Tortoise didn't build that many actually because they cancelled the order after the end of the war, and I think they found that it was just too big, too wide for most of the bridges in Europe. And of course a beast like this does have to cross bridges. I've actually seen one at Bovington Tank Museum and it's huge. Even those tracks are monstrous. Well, the gun is also pretty monstrous as well and very effective as well, the 120mm. So I'm expecting he's going to do rather well in this battle. The only weak spot really is that machine gun port or turret there at the back, operated by the loader. It's actually is a weak spot that can be penetrated. Now most people know that and they aim for that weak spot, trying to take the Tortoise out. Aim anywhere else on the vehicle, you're not really going to do that much damage unless of course you're Arty, in which case just hitting the thing is probably enough to shake it. Okay, well, 10 minutes battle because it's an assault, and well, he's going in through the east route, which means he's going to try and get around the back of the enemy. He's got an OHO for company, but they've suddenly met an IS-7, a Tier 10 Soviet heavy, and this is where it gets really difficult because yeah, these guys, they're not really up to it facing a Tier 10 Soviet heavy. The OHO will do his best, but really he's not up to it because he is only a Tier 8. Well, he's got his first shot on the enemy and he's going to go through this archway, try and take some more damage off that IS-7. Got a high roll on his first shot for 429. The Scorpion would like a bit as well, but of course he's got very thin armour and it's probably not a very wise thing for him to try and poke his way around that corner, because after all that guy is going to deal him a lot of damage with his gun if he does. Well, he's pushed now and that allows the OHO to get involved, and the Wizzy 132 wants to get past so he can go and wreak damage behind the enemy, but unfortunately it didn't last very long because the IS-7 and a Pantera had other ideas. Just easily punches straight through the armour of the IS-7. He must realise now that he is a goner. He's not going to survive. There you go, lower plate, he's out. And that frees him up to move, and now they've met an enemy Tortoise. Well, he's going straight for the weak spot. And of course the enemy Tortoise will be trying to do the same. OHO's going to hang back at this moment and let the Tortoise fight each other out, as he'll pick up whoever's left. Well, that's a nice pen, and he bounced around that came back, so the other guy is probably not that practiced. And there he goes, he's out the game. He just couldn't hide his weak spot. Okay, moving on. 2 kills now for YoMamas. Now this replay was actually from February of 2019, so it is some time ago. Yeah, it's been sitting in the queue for quite some time. In fact, YoMamas was surprised when I told him that there were a few replays that he hadn't seen yet. And he just, well, bounces off the round, the 120mm round from the T-44, but you can see how easily he punches through that Tier 8 premium American heavy tracks. Yeah, no problem at all. He did take a round from the enemy. Yeah, he's just taken an APCR round, but, well, he's just shaking it off. Now, he did lose those hit points, and of course, really the only penetrating shot that's actually hit him and done damage to him is the T-34, because the IS-7 didn't do any damage to him whatsoever in that game. Pantera's holding back. He's a 90mm gun. I don't think he wants to expose himself to the 120mm on the Tortoise. And there, I think, was it's an E75, yeah, tier 9 German heavy. Again, he's going to suffer. The Oho's doing his best, but he hasn't got that much in the way of hit points left. And there you go, he's out the game. I did think that was going to happen. Whereas YoMamas is actually heading over to the left so he can get a better angle on the E75 and potentially hide his weak spot as he comes around the corner. Okay, E75 lower plate, no problem. 379 low roll. He bounces them around, or not bounces it, but just doesn't pen. And he's been hit by the Arty again, but this time it's just on the tracks. He hasn't suffered any major Arty damage. They're just knocking on the door, telling us where they are. That Pantera keeps threatening to come forward, but it's really the E75 who's the bigger threat. Of course, there's nobody behind YoMamas. He hasn't got anyone except an Arty on his team. And in fact, actually, they're fairly low now because they're only down to 5 players. And the Arty on the enemy team is making his presence known now because that was a direct hit for 401. But he finishes off the E75, and that now puts the Pantera in a bit of a pickle because he has to do something now. If he doesn't, he's going to be out the game. And YoMamas has locked onto him. And even though the Pantera's tracked him, yeah, he fixes his kit and he's got him. Okay, so now the scores are even. There's 5 left on either side. They were at a loss at one point because they lost all the tanks that were assaulting. But now the enemy is in a bit of a pickle because, well, I'm afraid YoMamas is loose in their rear. And there's, well, any sort of havoc he could cause to the enemy because although they've got a Death Star, an SU-130PM and other tanks just around that corner, he could tear them to shreds, but I think he wants to get rid of that 212 first, and hopefully the Scorpion G who's coming up behind us might actually be able to do that for us. He might also discover where the enemy are ahead of us. Oh, there's the SU-130PM, and unfortunately we did get tracked by him, and since our repair kit's on cooldown we can't do anything. And oh, the Death Star finishes YoMamas off. That was unfortunate. He used the Hesh round, but he does get taken out a moment later by the Scorpion G. And the Scorpion G is just around the corner, even though the SU-130PM is going round to actually try and take him out. Oh, he has got him. And the M53, M55 fires a round in at the SU-130PM, but it's now beginning to look as if, well, there's 3 tanks left on either side. It could go either way. We are capping. And there goes the M53, M55, but the SU-130PM takes a round from our teammate in the Conqueror. And if he can be taken out by the Conqueror, then I think they've got a very good chance of winning this game. But they need to get 2 in the cap, really, to make certain of it. The SU-130PM is coming back this way. He's got no choice, really. He has to, because if he doesn't get a reset, they win. Just waiting for him to turn up. I think he's actually hiding behind the Pantera. I'm tempted to go to free camera and see if I can pull back and see what's actually going on. Well, the Super Conqueror is actually, I mean, that's not a very good angle to be at. But they are capping. And we're now watching the VK4502A. The enemy's got a TVP T5051. And the Super Conqueror is going in proactively to take out the SU-130PM. I hope he succeeds. They've only got 4 seconds left. Oh, and they lose the SU-130PM, and we've capped out to win. So it is a win for YoMamas, even though he got taken out by the SU-130PM. Let's have a look at the end of battle stats. Well, it's a first class tanker for YoMamas in the Tortoise. He managed to get a spotter badge for spotting at least 1,000 hit points of damage. A fighter badge for getting at least 4 kills. He actually managed to get 4 exactly. And a fire for effect for doing more damage to the hit points to his own vehicle. After his engagement with the IS-7 and the Tortoise, and then finally with the E75, he actually managed to collect enough hit points to be the high caliber. And his win rate for the battle was 8,561. We look at team score, we can see there he is, 5,519 hit points. The next high scorer being the Death Star that killed him with 3,790. And then after that, the Superconch, who managed to get 3,613. He also managed to pick up a steel wall in the game. When it came to kills, it was YoMamas. He got 4 kills in that game. Scorpion got 3. So did the SU-130PM. And when it came to base XP, he's got tops in that one as well. So he's got the tops in all 3 columns, even though he's died in the battle. 1,358 base to YoMamas, 984 to the Superconch, 901 to the Scorpion G. But that 1,358, I'm afraid that just wasn't enough to get an ace tanker. As you see, the standard is very high for the Tortoise. He fired 19 rounds of 120mm ammunition, got 17 direct hits, 16 penetrations, damage of 5,519 hit points, all of it at close range. 11 hits received, 2 of them were penetrations, 8 non-penetrations, and 3 hits by way of splash damage, including that one, of course, right at the end from the Death Star, a Hesh round that took him out of the game altogether. 3,030 hit points of damage were blocked by the armour. That's the IS-7 and the Tortoise who were attacking him. 1 enemy vehicle spotted, 5 enemy vehicles damaged and 4 killed, 1,179 hit points of damage assistance. On a premium count, he actually earned 49,498 credits. Yes, I know they're in the wrong columns. There was a hiccup with the replay site. He earned 461 for compensation for damage done by allies, so his total came to 49,959 credits. And after repair and ammunition resupply, he actually ended up with a profit of 10,902 credits. He also picked up 1 bond and 1,358 XP times 2 for the first victory, and I think that means that he took away something like 2,716 experience points altogether, if my maths is correct. I hope so. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that replay. If you did, please give this video a like and do subscribe to our channel. And thanks for watching.